Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Parts Talk. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Well, I certainly hope you have been enjoying my videos as much as I do, because it takes a little time to research these contents, try to put them out, and elaborate on them as much as possible. As you know, I'm one of the only programs that takes you beyond the sales department consistently, that is. Others speak about the cars, their features, style, models, and DIY videos from mechanics. However, as long as I'm here, I'm going to try to elaborate a little bit more into the sales department. So today, what I'm going to be doing is do a reaction on a video from Automotive News. And the headline says here, recruiting hires from employee referrals. Fixed Operations Director Allie Peters enjoys the recruiting process. She says she looks for empathetic people who will connect with customers, and she likes it when she hires staffers based on employee referrals. So she's also trusting her employees who will have the know-how and the skill in trusting other persons who they think have the experience to come in and make that organization, rather that dealership, a better working environment. What she's going to be doing is using organ language and jargons used in the dealership environment, and I'm going to try to break it down as much as possible. One is elaborate on the 4 pillars of a dealership and what dealership should compromise, which is 1, people development, 2, sustainability, 3, stakeholder satisfaction, and 4, all lead to value creation. So without further ado, let's get into this video.
Allie, thanks for being with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So talk about people, retaining staff, recruiting staff. How do you kind of go about finding good people to start with?
So it's one of my favorite things to talk about. So we are really intentional about the team that we build. We want people who enjoy people and enjoy being able to take care of others. We like hiring smart people that we can empower to really just be there and assist our guests through it, and also to be creative and coming up with solutions. So right now, what we're working with, and which is so much fun to share, is that we are actually hiring now based on referrals. And so the last 6 technicians that we've brought on have been referrals of people who worked with us. The last few valets that we've brought on, and some of our service support staff and our advisors have been referrals.
One thing about HR managers, they're always so lovely and bubbly when they're talking to you at first, but the tone changes once they have to met out disciplinary measures. And something I've always wondered about them, the psychoanalytical point in which they can mode switch from time to time. Unbelievable.
Of people who currently work within our culture, within our team. And I always feel like we're doing something right when people want to bring their friends to work with them.
And do you incentivize current employees?
We do.
If you bring somebody in,
yes,
you get a little spiff?
We do, yeah. So we have an associate referral program, and so we were able to incentivize them financially. And then we really do feel that we get even a bigger bang for that buck, so to speak, because people aren't going to put their name on someone that's going to embarrass them or let them down. And so they're very particular about who they bring in, because they know that they are essentially vouching for that person.
And what kind of people are you looking for? I know there's a lot of talk about going into the hospitality industry, things like that. What kind of some of the characteristics that you look for in people that you think can stick in this business?
So I am really all about people who have a true heart for other people. So customer service, people who have really thick skin and are patient and can empathize with others, because oftentimes when we're in situations that are hard with a guest or even another associate, people take that personally, but
yes, you have to employ people that are extrovert, not necessarily introvert, and who are comfortable working in the customer service environment, because as you know, working in a dealership is about retail. So people development is very important, but it is also a bonus. It is also important to employ someone who is not afraid to stand in front of a customer to listen and explain everything that is going on. And in such, you have to have competent and motivated employees working with passion. It falls under people development. So team complacency development plans for the department is also meted out when you're employing such individuals, because they have to fall in line with the mission, the vision, and the values of that particular dealership.
People that I love, and the group of associates I like to have, are those who can understand why that person's upset and sincerely and genuinely want to be shoulder to shoulder and help that person. And so really, people who love other people. The cars are second to that.
Yeah. And how do you work on retention? I mean, there's, turnover, technician turnover is huge. Service advisor, turnover is even bigger than that. How do you
Yeah, especially technicians now. As you know, there's a movement going on. Mechanics going their own way. They're turning in their span and dropping their wrenches and walking away from it. So dealerships have to come up with innovative ways in order to maintain and sustain these employees.
Retain these folks? Is this a part of like some kind of the culture of what you do, or how do you make sure they stick?
Yeah, so we are very, very big on taking care of our people, and so I think that looks different for every person that we have on our team. We are very, very supportive of work-life balance, if that is something that's real, and so we do our best to ensure that people take their lunch breaks and actually work their scheduled shifts, and that the shifts are no longer this 12-hour, 6-day-a-week program that a lot of us.
Well, that's what management should always be about: employee development and improvement. And this will lead to the second part that I've mentioned earlier, which is called sustainability. So you'll have your performance management systems in place, which falls under staff welfare, that goes along with the policies and procedures of that particular dealership. And this falls under the umbrella of the organizational support. The leadership has to work closely with the human resources department to ensure support is given to maintain sustainability for the dealership itself. So they have to ensure that the supply chain management is up and running, the HR guidelines are in place, job processes, flows, and procedures are in place, knowledge management, reporting, market knowledge, pricing, competitive price analysis. Everything falls under sustainability. And again, the leadership is very important.
Grew up with, but truly are ones that while they're at work, we want them to give us their all, but we also want to give them time away from the dealership so that they can live the life that they want. We also pay very well. I think we have an extremely competitive pay plan. And then we also like to throw out extra projects and tasks and like little competitions that can be rewarded not only with dollars, but a lot of time we'll give, an incentive of this person that wins this weekly competition can get an hour next week to do whatever they want. They can come in a little bit late, they can leave a little early, take a long lunch. And for some, that 1 hour is a huge, huge incentive to win that competition and try to get to that next goal.
And another thing, you're in this good store here in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. What are some of the challenges that you're seeing? I know there are people talk about chip shortages, part shortages. How are things for you down here in Texas?
Yeah, so I would say that the part shortage is getting better in a lot of ways. We do still struggle with some backorder parts. So when they go on backorder, they go on serious backorder. So we're gonna go big or go home. But we are finding more creative ways. We are finding that dealers are willing to work with each other and sharing those parts if needed. And then we feel that the manufacturer is doing a lot more to help us get these parts so that we can help with our customers. So
yeah, definitely. And I'm glad she touched on this, because this will fall under stakeholder satisfaction. I'm looking at the notes that I have here, and the basic points: right price, reliability, quality, as she mentioned about parts, and the differentiation, the front touch, speed, availability, high brand image, because you want your dealership to stand out. And that will eventually lead to lifelong customers depending on your dealership, because other dealerships outside of your geographical space, you have to also work alongside them, because everyone falls under the supply chain management system.
Much better. Yeah. Still room for opportunity, but better.
And what's kind of your 2023 outlook? How do you see? I know there's talk of affordability is going up on vehicles. People are holding on to their cars a lot longer, which could be an opportunity to keep them as customers. How do you kind of bring those kind of customers back, and is that kind of a focus of your year, the 2023?
Yeah, absolutely. So really 2022 is a lot about cleaning up process and figuring out the right people to be on our team. And as we go into 2023, it is all about taking care of our guests, the loyalty and the retention piece of that, so that it's easy and efficient and convenient for them. We also want to be really sensitive to their financial situations as we do go into this year, because it is up in the air for a lot of folks. And so with that being said, we are really excited. We have a full team. We're ready to help everyone that is coming, and we just want to make it the best experience that they can have in the service department.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
And on that note, I will just end with value creation, because all of what she said there, it falls under the key performance areas: the budget and the cost, the sales turnover, the asset, the stock management. All of that will lead to net operating profit after taxes have been done. Ultimately, the dealership itself will benefit. So those are some of the jargons that I picked up in this speech that she's actually giving. However, if you worked within the dealership environment itself, you'd be able to pick that up as well. And these are some of the issues that I had personally working within the dealership environment, because those that are coming in with little or no experience doesn't understand exactly what they have to do to ensure that dealerships are running efficiently, because many of them, not all, many of them have not been through the trenches to understand exactly what dealership management is all about. Hence, you're seeing such a fast and vast turnover within the dealership environment, and a lot of them are struggling to keep their doors open because they don't know what it takes. All they have to do sometimes is look within the reports themselves they get, even from the manufacturers, that show them the top 10 or the top 20 performing dealerships within their region. And all they have to do is reach out to those dealerships and find out exactly what benchmarking is being done, what best practices are they utilizing in order to have effective performance management. Again, from personal experience, all some managers know to do is micromanage, and they bring nothing else to the table. So that's basically what I have to say on this topic. And I've also mentioned quite a few of these strategies inside my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide, and how the parts department aligns itself within the dealership itself. So I hope you also grab a copy of that. So those are some of the things I picked up from this interview. Let me know your thoughts below. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. Please smash that like button on your way out. It will only take you 1.5 seconds to do so. Until next time.